Good morning, dear students. Myself, Professor Sapna Sharma from Modern College, Business Administrative Campus, BBSCA Department. Welcome back, dear student, once again to Artificial Intelligence course. So, in the past few sessions, we have covered a lot of stuffs. In my past session, I was talking about the natural language processing. That is the most important, you can say a branch of artificial intelligence. Along with the natural language processing, we have covered the deep learning also, and then we have covered the machine learning. So in my past session, I have mentioned you that these three features of artificial intelligence play a very important role in order to make the artificial intelligence application as strong as possible. So they are acting as the strongest pillar, and without these pillars, artificial intelligence, will not be that much strong, we can say. So in today's session, dear student, I will be talking about the various applications which are taking the help of natural language processing. Who all are the various type of applications which are based on the natural language processing? So let's dig into this, dear students. Let's start. The very first application of natural language processing is the translation, that is machine translation. Into my past session, I already mentioned you that natural language processing is the strongest pillar of artificial intelligence where we are understanding the human language. So with the help of natural language processing, we understand how human speaks, okay, and what exactly the human being are trying to tell us. And on the basis of that understanding, the application would be responding. Correct? So how this particular, the first application will be taking place? What is this translation? Translation is nothing but moving or the conversion of one thing to the another stuff. That is known as the translation. We also do this. We also do the implementation of certain stuffs. How we do it? What, what are the different methods? We do this translation a lot of time. If we really don't understand anything, so what we do? We translate that thing. And why we translate it for our convenience level so that we should be able to understand the concept, we should be able to understand the things. So in natural language processing, how this machine translation works, let us see. So machine translation is a kind of it is a subfield of computer linguistic. I already told you what is the meaning of linguistic. Linguistic is a kind of study which will allow us to understand the languages, the words, the statements. So in order to understand this computer linguistic, we would be using the software applications. And what this software application would be doing, they will translate this text or they will translate your speech from one language to the another language. Whatever you speak, that should be understandable by the front person. And it is the responsibility of this machine translator to make it possible. So the same thing we are using over here. We are using the software application who will try to translate from one language to the another language. So the best example of machine translation, you can talk about the Google Translate, which is known as the translate over 100 billion words every day. Means this Google Translator is actually converting or not converting, it is translating over 100 billion words every day. That is the countability I am telling you of translating the words. So it's a big amount, dear student, a huge number of data. A huge number of data is being translated by the Google Translate every day. So Google Translate use what? Which technology this Google Translate basically use? It uses the neural machine translation, which uses artificial neural network. So you can see now natural language processing is also using the deep learning over here. How we come to know that deep learning is used? Because here we are using the neural network. And neural network is a concept that comes under the deep learning itself. I have mentioned these stuffs into my the session onto deep learning. It's very important, dear student, to translate the whole sentence at a single instant of time. What is the purpose of this deep learning or the artificial neural network? We are translating the whole statement into one instant of time. We don't take the takes. This is not taking take one, take two, take three. No. In one instant, it should be able to do that. Then only we will love that application, right? That is the most important thing. Next, when we talk about the human languages, dear students, so there are a lot of ambiguity. A lot of ambiguity comes while understanding the human language, because it is sometimes very tedious also to understand it. It is very tedious to understand the words. It is sometimes tedious to understand the sentences. And I hope you will agree with me. Sometimes what happens, the captions, the spelling, there are a lot of mistakes into the captions, which are automatic generated caption type जो होते हैं. Somebody else is speaking something else and जो उसमें नीचे जो captions आते हैं, they are something different. There are some spelling mistakes onto that. It happens. You would have seen all those things. So it is very tedious job to to just understand what the human is telling and exactly translating that part or exactly interpreting that part. So natural language processing will help us a lot in order to overcome this challenge. I have seen, let me just share up one of my experience, dear student. 2 or 3 days, before I was, watching TV, and my TV is a smart TV. So in that, I am having a feature. I have to just speak, okay, and my TV will automatically give me that session, that webinar, whatever I want to watch, that will be in front of my eyes. But when I was speaking, so there the caption was arising on the bottom of my television. But what I found, that whatever I'm speaking, okay, the spelling mistake is there. A lot of spelling mistake is there. The interpretation is not correct. So in order to overcome that type of problem, we can use the natural language processing so far. This happens. Next is conversational user interface. Means we are making a kind of user interface, an interactive window where two people can conversate with each other. That is the second application. So a conversational user interface is a kind of interface for the computer that emulates a conversation with real humans. For example, you people are using your mobile phones, right? Mobile phone is also a kind of emulator only, where you are able to see everything, right? You are able to see yourself also, you are able to see other people also. This is possible, dear student. Okay, the same thing we people are also adjustifying over here. We are making such kind of emulator which will make us to have a conversation with each other. So here my machine would be having the conversation with the real human. For example, a chatbot. This you knows. I can give you the example also. Majority of websites are using this nowadays. If you just go for any appointment also, if you just go for any shopping site where you are just shopping something, so they ask you, how may I help you, sir? Because they know that you would be requiring this help because you are visiting for the very first time. So machine is asking that question, and that question is not asked by any human being, dear student. Question is asked by the human being and they are just giving you the response. They are helping you. So they are acting as a help text. That is known as the chatbot. Everywhere it is there. Every online site is using this nowadays. It is very famous. The chatbot provide an interface, a small chat box type of area where user will put the query and machine will respond you. With the help of text it is going on. You don't have any face to face conversation, is not there. There is no video call, there is no audio call. There is only simple text conversation is going on. You have to type the text, and similarly the machine will give you the response in format of text. Next, chatbot is a text based CUI that can act as a question answer platform. Yes, it is a question answer platform. Like sometime na previously ऐसा होता था, we used to call the customer care and the customer care coordinator used to speak in this manner. How may I help you, sir? The same thing is happening with the chatbot also now. But we don't have any voice. We are just having the text. Okay. With the help of this chatbot, we are able to get the answers also. We are able to place the orders also. We are able to find out what is the status of my order, of my package. Okay. You can also gain some sort of information that is very much. So everywhere you are using this chatbot. Everywhere. Whether you are booking the flight ticket, whether you are going for any financial transaction, whatever you do, everywhere you will find out this chatbot, because chatbot helps a lot people. First important as very polite, very humble nature. They give you as much as information they are having. So for performing complex task, a chatbot need to understand the user input. Obviously, first of all, the chatbot has to understand what user is actually telling, what user has put something, what is the user's input, and on the basis of the user's input, they will be responding correspondingly. So in order to just implement this, the whole stuff which I have mentioned, the whole stuff which is mentioned on through this slide, natural language processing play a very important role, because chatbot is using the natural language processing. Then only they are able to interpret what human beings are asking, and with the help of strong interpretation, they are able to respond you back. Very important. Next is text prediction. You are predicting certain thing. How you do that? What is this prediction? Means you are on the basis of analyzation, you are just putting some kind of response. आप कुछ बता रहे हो किसी को, right or not? So text prediction refers to a process of estimating. You are just doing the estimations basically. What you are doing? You are doing the estimations. You are making the estimations, strong estimations. So text predictions refer to the process of estimating the text or next word. Either it can be into the form of phrase or it can be into the form of sentences. They're predicting what would be your answer. The same manner human being also tell you, right? The same thing is being done by the human being also. They predict. They just try to understand your personality, the way you people speak, and on the basis of your personality, your spiritual text, your vocal quality, they will try to predict what would be your response. That is the most important thing. So one of the popular and most common example, if you talk about the text prediction, is the Google search. Yes, it happens. Google search, right? You get a lot of stuff, right? On the basis of your searches, they try to predict what you really want. They actually stores your history, search history, and on the basis of that search history, they try to predict on the basis of how you people type, what is your search quality, what is your search type. They will try to estimate the things. That is known as the text prediction. Google search, very 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 best example for it. So from these example, at least student, you will come to know that yes, what you can say, your artificial intelligence into the great demand. Everywhere it is used, everywhere. where you are not using it. From these sessions only you must be able to understand it. Let me move on to the next part. That is, Google uses BERT. BERT. BERT means bidirectional encoder representation from transformer. This is the full form of BERT. A natural language processing algorithm. It is an algorithm basically that uses neural network to create pre-trained models. Right? So they, with the help of this algorithm, we would be able to make what means natural language processing algorithm would be used, and with the help of natural language processing, okay, and with the help of this neural network, pre-models would be created. Pre-trained model. They are not trained. They are pre-trained model. So these models are trained using a huge amount of unannotated text available on the web. Unannotated means what? You are not aware about what that data is exactly. Annotation क्या करता है? Annotation हमको बताता है कि exactly ये चीज है क्या. But if we are not having any annotation, then that is simply like unstructured data. It is not at all known data. It is unknown type of data. So what will happen? We will first make a pre-model, pre-trained model. Since it is not trained model, so obviously the data would be also not so appropriate. So for this pre-trained model, we would be using the unannotated text. So the BERT algorithm help the search engine. Now what will happen? This BERT, B-E-R-T, BERT algorithm, what it will do? It will help the search engine to understand the query in the same manner how the human being will do. Right? So what will happen? These model would be there. Okay, we have made a pre-trained model. We have inserted a lot of data inside it, unannotated, unstructured data. Now with the help of this algorithm, this pre-trained model would be doing the function. How it would be doing the function? If any search comes, so we will try to understand that particular search and we will try to make the predictions in the same manner how the human being actually do. Because ultimately we are doing what? With the help of artificial intelligence, we are making another human, but it is an artificial human with artificial intelligence, right? Next comes sentiment analysis. Sentiments means emotions. Sentiment analysis is the process of interpreting and classifying the emotions with the text data. Means like with the help of the text data, we will try to understand through which particular circumstances, through which particular what you can say sentiment the things are moving. On the basis of text, imagine, on the basis of text we are able to understand in the same manner how the human being do, right? हम किसी से chat कर रहे हैं, with that chat only we try to analyze whether the person is feeling happy, sad, crying, laughing, what it is. In the same manner the machine will also do. Usually having business specific application, sentiment analysis do what? When we talk about the business specific applications, at a time we try to understand the customer's sentiments, basically what customer really wants, what type of services really this customer wants, right? For example, customer is searching certain thing, imagine. So my AI application will try to understand what exactly this customer wants, right? And on the basis of analyzation of that customer, they will try to put those different type of product in front of that customer, so that the searching become easy, the shopping become easy for the customer. So the same example is given over here. Like the customer comes for the online shopping, on the basis of the customer sentiment, we will try to put forth the brands what customer will like, the product. This is I'm talking about with respect to the online. Okay, whether the customer is positive, whether the customer is negative, whether the customer is neutral, I will try to analyze it. For its exceptional ability, sentiment analysis is used in product analytics. They will try to, like, with the help of this sentiment analysis, we will try to analyze the product also. We will try to go for the market research. We will also think about the reputation, about the whole product, about the, about the application, everything. Precision targeting means we have to achieve what we really are over here, right? We have made an application, we have made a website, so that website would be doing certain thing, right? So that is nothing but our target. We want that our website should achieve that particular target, so we have to do that also. We have to also think about the public relationship. We have to analyze the market, how the market is currently, right, in order to get more and more profit. This is what here the things are happening. Text classification. Now what is this text classification? See, as I already mentioned that the data is coming into a huge amount. So you cannot make out the things like, the data is coming into the proper structurization. No, not at all. Always the data is coming into the unstructured manner. It is an unstructured text that is coming from everywhere. Even if you put your data onto the internet, that if I really want to use your data, then also that data would be coming into the unstructured manner. But I have to make it into the structure. Right? On encyclopedia and Wikipedia, we are getting a lot of data. But what data we want, we just try to extract it. So email, if you talk about the social media, if you talk about the websites, chat, conversation are the area where we are using this, natural language processing text classification. Obviously, social media the biggest example for the text classification. Just like Facebook, what Facebook is doing, you're putting a lot of stuffs, right? You put images, you put your videos, audios, you put a lot of stuffs. What Facebook will do, first it will try to analyze what exactly this event is. On the basis of event, the Facebook will try to grasp your name. Okay, then what is the important information that would be extracted, and later on it would be put in front of you in a very good manner, in a very pleasant manner. You will love it. That is what happening, dear student. So here we are using the natural language processing. It is very essential because ultimately we really want that our customers should be there at every instant of time. We want to attract our customer. If you really want to attract your customer, then what you need to do, you need to always think about how your customer will become happy. If you make everything so much perfect, then customer would be also happy with you, right? What these social medias are doing, they're doing the same stuff. What these email people are doing, they are also doing the same stuff. Okay, you get a lot of email from different places every day you get. But how you people get attracted towards any email? Why you open any random email? Because you find that that is the subject of that email is very attractive, it is very catchy. If you find that particular subject very catchy, you will surely click onto that email and you will try what exactly it is. How it happens? It happens just because you are using the NPL. Everywhere regressively you are using it so that you can attract most of the people. Text classification algorithms lay down on the basis of software system that totally works onto the large huge amount of data. Large scale of data is being there actually, basically, dear student, a large stuff of data. You're gonna trillions millions of data is there, and we're using that data in order to get a lot of stuffs. So example, the automatic categorization of email as primary, social or promotion. Means what type of email it is exactly. This example is showing you are just categorizing the email, whether it is like most important email, or whether it is a social email, means if for everyone, or whether it is an email for the promotion purpose. You get that. You get that information also, whether it's a promotive email, whether it is a socialized email, or whether it is like important email, very much primary to you. That is primary, secondary, tertiary type, first level, second level, third level in Gmail. Basically, you see very fine example of your text classification, where you exactly find out what is happening over here. Platforms such as e-commerce, news agencies, content creators, etc. uses text classifier to automate content, product, and service tagging. Yes, they use it because they want to make their stuffs at the highlight point. So for that, they usually use this text classification, because see what will happen. These e-commerce website, these news agencies, they will put a lot of data, but with the help of the text classification, they will come to know which text is important and which particular text you need to put in front of the customers, in front of the viewers, in front of the people, the citizens, whatever like content you are talking about. If you're talking about the e-commerce, then you really want that your customer should get attracted, so text classification would be required. Now, from text classification, we exactly come to know which particular text is favorite of all the people, like customers, or the citizens, or the viewers, what type of data they really like. So we will try to put that in front of them. Next is spell check, dear students. Spell check, spelling check, basically. A spell checker is what? It is a kind of software application only, which will try to identify, and it will also try to correct you people if you have done any kind of mistake. A biggest example, the popular example that you are able to see nowadays, that is Grammarly application is there. With the help of Grammarly application, we can find out if you are writing a statement also, whether that statement is correct or not. It's not only talking about the correctness, but it also talk about understanding the statement. Sometimes what happen, the statement is correct, but we are not able to get the statement. So both the things are there into the confidential, that the statement should also be correct and it should be understandable. So Grammarly application will see both the stuffs. It will make your statement so catchy that the people will love that. You can use it into the application writing, you can use it into the email writing, wherever you want you can use it. Grammarly is a very powerful tool, very powerful spell checker tool. So it's a tool that integrate with variety of text, document, automatically checking for the spellings. Means you don't have to think. They will highlight, see this spelling is not correct. And once you click onto that incorrect spelling, it will be corrected automatically. It will tell you there is an error with respect to your statement, with respect to your things. They will try to give you the suggestions also, what type of corrections you can make in order to make it more attractive. While spell checker have immense importance in software applications, yes, to make a good formatized document, it also it means it creates such a tremendous, such a good document, dear student. You will find it very good. It plays a very important role into website search also. Yes, wherein there are a high chances of user making a spelling mistake. Yes, because see, errors are the nature of humans, and they would be doing a lot of errors, right? So it's our thing, it is our responsibility to make them correct. So these applications are taking the responsibility on the basis of the typo, on the basis of the type that user is conducting. We will try to make it more appropriate. Because if we search with correct word, with correct spelling, then what happened, we would be getting a lot of respond also a lot of searching link. We will be able to get more and more data. For search, typify is correct. If we correctly mention what we really want, then we would be getting an immense level of data. Immense level of data. So it totally depend upon what type of things we people are writing, right? So here are the very few type of applications I have told you. Let us move to the next application, that is speech recognition. Very very important and very much old. The speech recognition technology has been there into this world since 70 years back. So you cannot say that speech recognition has just arrived now. No, not at all. 70 years back, speech recognition this technique was came into this world. So the first ever speech recognition system you can find out in the year 1952, and it was being recognized into, or it has been introduced by Bell Laboratories. Everyone knows about the Bell Laboratory, right? Bell Laboratory is known for C language also. In the same manner, for the speech recognition in 1952, Bell Laboratory is responsible for making this thing happen. Known as Audrey, the system could recognize a single digit number. Okay, the very first system. But this system was able to recognize single digit number, Audrey. And later, IBM introduced Shoebox, which could understand and respond 16 words in English. 16 words total, which marked the usage of the natural language processing for the speech recognition. So the very first time in 1952, the application was able to understand only one digit at a time. Later on, IBM make it extended it and make it at 16 words in English basically. So you can see how much strong it is basically, dear student. So in this particular slide, we have studied immense level of applications that are using natural language processing technology, dear student. So you can imagine how much powerful this natural language processing feature is. How much powerful, how much impactful. And whatever applications I have told you people, like whatever examples I have given you so far, they are the live examples. You cannot neglect them, because you see these type of applications every day. See these applications every day. Whether it is Google Speak, whether it is a Google Translate, whether it is Chatbot, or whether you are talking about the Grammarly, where you are not using natural language processing, everywhere you are using. Nowadays, you don't prefer typing. You speak and you get the thing in front of you. This is what the powerful thing, a powerful nature of artificial intelligence with respect to these pillars. So I hope this particular session has been very advantage to you. Okay, it would be providing a great knowledge about the various type of applications which are using these pillars. So see you into my next session. Thank you so very much, student. Please stay safe and bye bye.